What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and I regret to inform you Brianna Wu is back, and she is trying to get herself mixed into literally any headline she possibly can. The new Xenoblade was announced today, and she got herself mixed up in that. And of course, she's backing ferociouslystuff, the Twitch ambassador who thought that, voice chat was something that should be removed. Now, before I get into the rest of this topic, huge shout out to manscaped.com's Lawnmower 3.0. This has absolutely been a blessing in disguise for me. A wonderful product that they gave me a promo code where you can save 20%. Now, I know a lot of people are stuck at home right now and they need a little extra grooming help. This thing is absolutely cordless, rechargeable, waterproof, gives you absolute complete control of all of your grooming, all the way down from your chest hair to your ball fro. So support the channel, get 20% off today. Pick up your Lawnmower 3.0 or the Perfect Package 3.0 on manscaped.com using my link in the pinned comment below. Now, Brianna Wu definitely had to insert herself into a bit of the hullabaloo going on around Twitch right now. If you've been following the channel, we're talking a little bit about everything going on with Twitch and their trust and safety team. Now, this is ferociouslystuff, well known on Twitch now. And again, I should say, look, if you want to be a deer person, honestly, truthfully, this does not bother me. It doesn't have anything to do with me. You should do whatever it is that makes you happy as long as it doesn't hurt anyone else, honestly. What I have a problem with is people being vindictive in terms of their new positions of power. Moments after getting a absolute tiniest shred of power, ferociouslystuff was, how do you say, campaigning to remove voice chat from competitive gaming. And Brianna Wu comes in here. Ferociouslystuff, I completely agree with your opinion on voice chat. Shocking. Shocking that Brianna Wu would insert herself into this. Now, obviously, her bid to be in national government has failed hilariously badly, but that hasn't stopped her from continuously trying to keep her grift going. I mean, you've got to have a wide variety of irons in the fire, for example, if you want to continue to get paid. I mean, I don't think she was ever going to get any big money from political donor. But if we look for ferociouslystuff, for example, the articles are absolutely coming out and they are going hard to defend her. Now, again, I have problems with some of the things she said, and not with any of her. I mean, it's funny to meme on her for her particular idiosyncrasies or the things she's into. But, you get stuff like, today in Twitch discourse, a woman speaking about issues marginalized people face in gaming communities. Hundreds of gamers disagree with one thing she said and set out to prove her wrong by starting a campaign against her, proving her point. Now, I don't agree that, people should reach out and say anything directly. I also don't think that, throwing a few dollars around in donations absolve you from anything. But ultimately, the articles around ferociouslystuff are overwhelmingly positive. I mean, if you just look at all these Twitter calls for action against moderator, but Twitch announced a safety announcer, a member immediately dealt with meanness. Ferociouslystuff responds to Twitch council backlash. I have power. Then we have Twitter calls for action against Twitch moderator. I don't think that there needs to be any necessary action against her. I mean, I would think it's probably a good idea to remove her from the council simply because she just doesn't appear to have people's best interests in mind. I mean, you could see Twitch streamer ferociouslystuff has responded to criticism. The Amazon-owned streaming service announced a new council on May 14th. Ferociouslystuff has been targeted for not only her controversial takes on multiplayer gaming, but also allegedly bypassing the Twitch codes and practices she's on board to enforce. Booting up her stream on May 17th, the divisive figure has now responded to recent backlash. "I'm not going anywhere. I have the power, and they can't take it away from me," she said during a recent stream in response to the ample criticism and complaints that have already surfaced since Twitch Council's announcement. As Laura continued, her statement outlined how some people should be afraid of her. She's not. She did not, however, mention any specific names. Well, thankfully, Brianna Wu is there to help her out. As Nintendo UK posts today, "Look the part to play the part. Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition deep customization options allow you to assemble your party that suits you both in style and substance, including armor and weaponry." What did Brianna Wu reply with? I mean, of course, you've got to bring up the old time-tested, mother-approved hook. "Can you make woman characters look like they aren't sex workers now?" Interesting tweet, Brianna Wu, because in a time where we're supposed to be very supportive of this line of work, that's not very progressive of you, Brianna Wu. Interestingly enough, she can't keep up with her own progressive camp, because what this sounds like to me is that Brianna Wu is shaming people who might be in this work, people like iDubbbz's girlfriend, Anissa. What's wrong with being in this type of work, Brianna Wu? I'm curious. We could look at some of the replies. "Funny of you chose not to mention that the armor is the player's choice, meaning that you could choose not to see it. Also funny how you didn't mention anything about the male characters and how they have outfits like that too. Seriously, inner peace Dunban strategy is pretty popular. Like, seriously, what are these people's problems?" And you see a male here, no shirt on. "Riki's outfit is not that revealing. Local woman discovers swimsuits. They're not spiced though. These are ones where Xenoblade 2 provided a much needed improvement." I mean, I am a big fan of that. That's an excellent. That feels like a thumbnail. I mean, I like this. That'll probably get banned, but whatever. Twitter cropping saves the day. In what universe is she that type of spice worker? Please let me know. I mean, they're just swimsuits, you know, but outrage lasts forever. And of course, you've always got to have a wet blanket every time something new gets announced. In this case, Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition will feature reworked lip syncing. Nintendo Treehouse member confirms Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition is going to feature a lot of improvements over the original Wii release, including better lip syncing. Speaking with Roger Bass, Rob from Nintendo Treehouse confirmed that the game is going to feature reworked lip syncing for the whole game. Footage of the future connected epilogue showed superior lip syncing compared to the original game, obviously, but it's good to know that the main game received a similar treatment. Now, Xenoblade is an excellent game with a gigantic fan base, which means you're going to have people that need to inject themselves to be outraged by it, because you can't have just, I mean, look at all these positive articles. I mean, everybody, even Kotaku, you know, does bring out a lot of positives. Now, they do note several of the negatives, of course. And you can say, let's compare Xeno Chronicles Wii and Switch graphics. You can have a lot of good, articles here. You can see that a fresh coat of paint isn't going to solve all the game's problems, and Xenoblade Chronicles still has its fair share. Just because the Chronicles are prettier doesn't mean their personalities and constant catchphrases are less irritating. And the game is still padded with seemingly endless assortment of inane side quests. We're talking massively multiplayer online RPG levels of side quests. There are non-player characters who give the party 4 or 5 tasks to perform at once. Look at this overstuffed to-do list. And I get it. I mean, I'm one of those people that kind of takes every side quest anyway. And, Xenoblade Chronicles, isn't it isn't a perfect game, but it's excellent. And I do like seeing video game outlets going back and doing these things right. Now, we have seen Resident Evil have both sides of the coin, for example. The first Resident Evil remake they did, well received, excellent game. Second, not so much. Now reducing a lot of faith in the future ones going forward. So, you know, you've got the enhanced quest system, part of the menu user interface overhaul that makes the definitive edition live up to its name. The on-screen interface displayed during combat is crisper, clearer, easier to understand, making the game's unique action-based battle system much more enjoyable. There's still a lot of juggling to do, combining various character skills to topple and weaken enemies, but it's easier to focus on what needs to be done this time around. There's a lot, for example, with Final Fantasy VII Remake, with their battle system that I think was improved. I still prefer the turn-based system, and you can still do that sort of thing, but adding modern-day amenities is always welcome, except unless you're Brianna Wu, which, of course, she has ended her bid to unseat Republican Stephen Lynch, citing the coof. Even though she's long out of money, you can see now she's re-engaging in her previous grift, being mad online for money. I suppose, best of luck to you, Brianna Wu. I hope that you can turn this into some sort of Patreon-only funded thing, but watch out for those moon rocks. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.